Whether you want to admit it or not, the time draws near where confrontation is inevitable. And not only that, but necessary. And whether you live or die depends on you and the people you have with you, and the skill sets that you've developed. We are at the time where developing certain skill sets is absolutely necessary. For example, the skill set of being stealthy, not being seen. If you're a member of a small group and you come up against a much larger group than you, what is the solution for the numbers? The solution is not being seen. If they can't see you, they can't kill you. So, stealth violence specifically is a skill set you definitely want to have. If you don't have a compound bow or a crossbow, you should really consider getting one, because they are excellent stealth killers. You can still do it at a distance, and no one's going to hear you. Of course, somebody could always discover the body, right? But if they can't see you, even if they discover the body, they can't kill you. I think old Captain McMillan there was pissed off at me because I went ahead and killed all them people. And this is me playing Modern Warfare, all gillied up, for our little chat today. And another skill set that you should be willing to develop is ignoring the mainstream value system or morals. These morals or value systems will do you absolutely no good and shit hit the fan, and they will only serve to hinder you. And the skill you need for that is simply thinking for yourself, looking around you, analyzing what you see, and coming to a conclusion. Forward thinking, trying to be many steps ahead, is another skill set that you want to have. If you're always that many steps ahead, then again, they're not seeing you, so they're not killing you. Skill sets are vital. What's another skill set you can think of that would be pertinent in such a situation? I'm just making this video off the top of my head, so bear with me here. You may get some pauses while I think of something, but skill sets. So we've talked about stealth, or the ability to turn into a ghost or a shadow. We've talked about stealthy kills. What you might need for that: a compound bow, a silenced weapon. They still make noise though. You still hear the mechanical clattering of the gun and the bullet exiting the muzzle. So if you have to do a stealthy kill, I really recommend you use a knife, crossbow, compound bow, or some kind of other silent weapon. What other skill set? Patience. And yes, patience is a skill set. The ability to be patient is it's a virtue, like the old saying goes. Because if you're impatient and you run out into a situation, you may end up with a toe tag, or you may end up in a pine box, or in some mass grave of our dictator's creation. What other skill set? Let me think here. Said thinking ahead. And we're talking about going up against superior forces. These are the skill sets you want. See, on this gameplay, I made a lot of mistakes, and it cost me. You know, thankfully it was a game and not an actual situation. Whether you like it or not, these skills are becoming more and more necessary by the day. And if you don't develop them now, you're going to be on a learning curve when they are needed. Don't get me wrong, you may not end up dead as a result, but instead of developing them now and waiting, you're going to be developing the skills on the fly. And, you know, there's only so much you can do on the fly. For example, if you're out of shape and you don't have these skill sets, then not only do you have to get in shape, but you have to develop the skill sets on the fly. It's not very practical. And if you're a small person like myself, it is absolutely necessary to be good at not being seen. And it's also necessary to learn how to end hand-to-hand situations very, very quickly. And my body is proof of that. And I've been in many fights with much larger people, and now I have back problems. And it's not the only thing that caused it, but it had a lot to do with it. The funny thing is the hardest I've ever been hit by a person was by someone my size. And they made my eyes roll in the back of my head. And no big person's ever done that to me. So, surviving in the elements, another skill set. If you're a small group and you're trying to be stealthy, well, you're going to spend a lot of time lying on the ground and dealing with the elements is crucial. Remember, hypothermia can kill you. Exposure can kill you. So you have to take all the necessary precautions. You have to know what those precautions are. Right? And you have to, another skill set And this kind of ties in with ignore traditional values and morals, but you absolutely have to be willing to kill without guilt, shame, remorse, or any kind of feeling for that matter. Because if you allow your feelings and emotions to get the best of you, you're probably going to chicken out when it's time to put that person down. You must separate yourself from your actions in these times, in the times ahead. You can't feel guilty for doing what you must, for doing what you have to, for your own survival. No guilt, no shame, no remorse. And by any means, and I'm not even saying necessary, any means. Tell me what you think. What am I missing here? Being able to hide campfires, good skill set to have. You have government after you. You don't want your fire to be seen. And another one is having a suit of sorts that blocks out your heat signature. Because you don't want Overwatch being able to spot you, right? What's Overwatch? It's a giant plane that flies above, circles the battlefield, and advises the ground people on enemy positions. They also use a Gatling gun from up there and other large ammunition shells. So you don't want to be seen by that, do you? So blocking out your heat signature, another thing for you to learn. Best I know, the thermal blankets are pretty good for that. So another good silent weapon is a garrote, and it's just a wire or string tied at each end to a wooden or metal handle. And of course, you use that for strangling the person. Now look, I'm not telling you people to go out and kill any old innocent person, but what I am saying is there's a lot of people out there who will fucking kill you and who are a serious threat, and you got to be prepared to handle them. And if you're a small group, even if you're not a small group, operating in silence and unseen is definitely the way to go. Any attention is bad attention. If, for example, criminals, right? The best thing they can do is look as poor as they can. But what a lot of them do, and I was guilty of this myself, hindsight, you know, is they'll go out and they'll spend shitloads of money on stuff like cars and clothes, and then they can't explain where the money came from. They got noticed for that reason. You do whatever it takes to not be noticed. And you should be operating like that now. You know there's lists of people they want. And at some point in time, they're going to they're going to open that list up and start collecting on them. And I venture to say some of you guys out there are on that list along with myself. The day draws ever closer, and your skill sets are going to make a fucking giant difference in how well you do. You have to be willing to do things like shitting on yourself. Seriously. Pissing in your pants. Eating bugs. And another thing, and I've talked about this before, but it is worth mentioning again. You really, really need to have some good painkillers in your bug out bag, or your load out bag. Because if you sprain an ankle, wrist, wring your back, whatever, those injuries will slow you down and make you more vulnerable. The best thing you can have is a good painkiller in your loadout bag. I know this more than anybody. I've been working and doing other stuff for the last 20 years with severe back injuries, and it's gotten worse and worse and worse. If it had not been for those painkillers, I would not have been able to work, and I probably would have went insane from the constant pain. So they are definitely worth having in your bag, and as many as you possibly can have. Liquid morphine is ideal, but any of them, Vicodins, Percocets, Loratabs, generic hydrocodone, oxycodone, not oxycontin, but oxycodone. Oxycontin suck because they're time release. You do not want to rely on time release painkillers in a critical situation where time is of the essence. Good knives, good guns, crossbow, bow and arrow, or a compound bow, maybe even a slingshot. Maybe even a slingshot, or why not have all of the above with you? The more tools you have, the more successful you're likely to be. You know the day of a confrontation is coming, and it's not going to be a quick wham bam thank you ma'am kind of deal. It's going to be a long, drawn out civil war where lots and lots of people die. I hope you, my subscriber, are among the living when it all ends. Anyway, I hope you all have a good day. Kill the state before the state kills you.